Hey gang, what's good? Welcome to another Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer character class overview and build guide. This time we're looking at the Human Vanguard. As always, I've gotten my character up to level 20 and rank 10. I've also cleared out several gold difficulty missions using this build. Although in this video I primarily do use shotguns, the most important part of the Human Vanguard's weapon is the added melee damage mod. So just use whatever weapon you've personally got the best melee mod for. And of course, try to get your hands on the Juggernaut equipment item as soon as possible. The Human Vanguard is an incredibly powerful class that focuses on melee damage. There's other character classes who can deal slightly more melee damage, but they lack the survivability of the human variant. Ultimately, I found the added survivability let me stay in the action and just do more damage. The Human Vanguard easily deals enough melee damage to compete with the current cream of the crop weapon damage character classes. As with all melee builds though, watch out for sync attacks from larger, stronger enemies like Hydramechs, Fiends, or Ascendants. In case you don't know, these are attacks that have unique animations and almost always kill the player characters that get caught in them. Okay, now let's cover the talent choices. Immediately, you'll see that I've only invested 1 point in Apex training. It's a great talent if you're using weapons or powers, but in this case, we're going all melee, so it just offers very little to us. With that out of the way, let's start from the top with Charge and look at what we should be picking. Charge is a great power that provides a surprising amount of utility. Aside from the obvious bonus of instant shield restoration, Charge has a significant number of invincibility frames that you can use to negate strong attacks, like a missile payload from a Hydramech. Anyhow, at rank 4, I opted for Radius over Damage and Force. Charge just doesn't deal enough damage in gold difficulty to justify not picking Radius. The added range will help us detonate more nearby primed combos and stagger nearby enemies, which in return means we get just a bit more survivability. At rank 5, we of course go with weapons and melee damage. This talent makes it doubly worth it to charge enemies frequently, even if we're already in melee range, that way we can get the damage buff. At rank 6, I opted for Shock Trooper. This makes the class really fast and fun. While the added survivability from our other option is useful, having a faster cooldown on charge results in added survivability as well. Not to mention, one of our passives that we'll cover later on easily gets us more than enough survivability overall. Nova is a power that we'll primarily be using for priming combos and crowd controlling smaller enemies after we've charged in. At rank 4, I opted for Radius over Damage and Force. This gets Nova's radius up to 6.6 meters, allowing for additional crowd control and combo potential. At rank 5, I opted for Anti-Armor, as most enemy shields can be wiped out in a punch or two. If you're going to be fighting only remnants for a while, then maybe consider Anti-Shield instead. Otherwise, I think Anti-Armor, you're just going to get more use out of it. At rank 6, Seismic Nova seems to be your best bet. Even though there's several limitations on using Nova as a primer, the 6.6 meter range seems to make up for it. Not to mention the 100% shield drain from using shield powered is just too high of a risk for too little of a reward. Shockwave is primarily good for making tons of combos quickly happen when you weave it together with your Nova and Charge powers. At rank 4, we pick up Radius. Aside from the obvious benefit, this sets the width of Shockwave to 3 meters, and that synergizes really well with the 3.5 meter radius on Charge. At rank 5, Recharge Speed is king, as it lets you reliably follow up a Nova with a Shockwave. Not to mention, added reach is rarely useful, being as we're going to be right in the face of the majority of enemies we're fighting. Lifting Shockwave wins at rank 6 over Anti-Armor. This lets you weave your powers together more effectively to pull off combos, and offers added crowd control if you need it. Finally, we come to Barrier, a passive talent that perfectly meshes with the rest of the character class. At rank 4, we go with Unyielding Barrier because higher max shields synergizes very well with Charge and other talents we'll be taking within Barrier itself. At rank 5, we opt for Barrier Drain. This is insanely strong. Not only is the 50% melee damage fantastic, but being able to restore shields with each melee attack lets us survive a ton of punishment. Just beware of enemy melee attacks, which now, as of patch 1.05, can stagger us and just mess up our whole melee rhythm. At rank 6, Active Barrier isn't very useful to us. Literally, just throwing a punch restores more shields, and unless we're running with another melee character, it's rare that our teammates will also be in melee range. So there's few situations in which we'll be restoring their shields with this talent. So instead, opt for Saving Barrier. True to its name, this talent is a lifesaver. With just a 10-second cooldown, it's a strong addition to our arsenal. Okay, thanks for checking out this brief character class guide for the Human Vanguard. I'll have more brief guides just like this coming in the future as I make progress myself. I'm just not real big on doing videos for character classes I haven't maxed out yet. Anyways, I've also got an Insanity difficulty playthrough going of the campaign. Check it out if you're into those sorts of videos. Anyways, thanks again. Peace!